Welcome back to Professional Builders Show Village Live, presented by Western Window Systems. I'm your host, Adam Grubb, and we are in our final hour here of 2 days of coverage of the International Builders Show and Show Village specifically. We've had over 40 guests over these last 2 days, and we have finalized this hour, we start this hour rather, with Chris Porter from John Burns Real Estate Consulting. Chris, good to see you.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks for being here and kicking off the last hour. You're with John Burns, who was on our show earlier today.
Right.
And you guys have a lot happening when it comes to data, to demographics, to understanding the market space, and your focus specifically is around apartment living and the multifamily, correct?
Well, demographics in general, but yes, I really do want to understand what is that balance between homeowners and renters? What does that look like going forward, and who are going to be the new homeowners of the future? Who are going to be the renters of the future as well?
So what does that mean, and why is that important?
Well, because the generations are different, and one of the things, I don't know if John talked about this earlier today, but we look at the generations a little bit differently. You know, you look at the boomers, somebody born in 1946 and somebody born in 1964, they're very different experiences in their lives, but we still call them boomers. Same thing with the millennials. Somebody born in 1980 and somebody born in 2000, you could argue, you might both call them both millennials, right, but they've had different life experiences, and that's going to affect how they live and where they choose to live.
And they're in different parts of their life today.
Exactly.
If you're born in 80, than if you're born in 99, you're at a much different spot.
Exactly.
So do you feel that people lump in that millennial, and that millennial word is used all the time, and that seems to be one of the most important demographics for most consumer brands, builders, it doesn't matter, product manufacturers. Why are millennials so important? Is that where the money is?
Well, it's a big group. So if you look at, we look at it by the decade in which you were born. So the group that was born in the 1970s, that was kind of the baby bust. We had about 40.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, me too. 41 million of them in the U.S. today.
Right.
We jump up to the group born in the 1980s, is 44 million. The group born in the 1990s, 45 million. And they're going to keep growing because of immigration. So we're going to see more and more people join that group. So it's a marked increase from this group that's now in their family formation years, born in the 1970s.
So when you're looking at the demographics, are you looking for specific markers? Are you looking for something that can help a builder understand their space? Are you looking for concern? What do you look at when you look at demographics of an area?
So we're looking at the size, but we're also looking at, are they forming households? Are they moving into home ownership? Are they still renting? So it used to be the case that 15 years ago, we saw that 50% home ownership mark achieved at the age of 32. Now it's closer to 35. So there's been all this press about the delayed milestones in adulthood for this younger generation.
Yeah.
And that's important for us to know, both from the builder side, but also from the apartment side as well, because what are those expectations of those older renters who are still renting in their 30s compared to renters who might have been renting in their 20s.
And you saw in 10 years ago or so, when the market had its issues, a huge spike in apartment renting because people they were forced out of their homes, couldn't get homes, whatever the case may be. Do you see any markers like that in different parts of the country where you go, okay, hold on a second, let's make sure we have a handle on this?
Sure. So for certain, affordability is a big concern.
Yeah.
Cost of ownership is incredibly high, despite the fact that you have low mortgage rates. And so I think we're still seeing some prolonged rentership as a result of just the high cost of getting into home ownership. I also think there's been a bit of a preference shift as well. We've even seen amongst the older generations a higher preference for renting. We saw in the wake of the recession, we thought maybe that was attributed to financial difficulties, getting foreclosed on and such. But now I think there is kind of a switch that's flipped where people are more okay renting later in life and actually switching from ownership to renting by choice.
Do you think that's because of maintenance, because of cost, because acreage doesn't matter anymore? What are the factors that are driving millennials and boomers to rent now?
Sure, I think affordability. For the boomers, I think that whole idea of low maintenance, the idea that you can just lock the door and leave and let somebody else worry about the maintenance is certainly a preference. Also, I think we've seen this rise of what we're calling suburban living, the idea of sort of urban living in the suburbs. So you see these small downtowns emerging in the suburbs, and that has retail, it has restaurants, it has employment, but it also has some living as well, some residences. And we see that appeal not just to the millennial generation, but also appeal to the older renters as well. And so as they move from their family homes into the city centers or the downtowns and the suburbs, we see some renter shift there as well.
So how do builders and developers take hold of this shift, and what can they do for apartment living and still build multifamily or townhomes or whatever the case, apartment complexes in some cases. What can they do to hit this shift in renting?
Sure. So I think it really comes down to really understanding what are the demographics of the area. What are the tipping points at which people are making that move from ownership or from rentership into ownership? And what are the challenges that are preventing them from doing so? Is it the high cost? Is it the cost of HOAs or I mean, affordability is one of our bigger concerns, and so I think tapping into some of that information locally is really going to help the builders to understand the demographics of who their renters will be and who the owners are going to be too.
How do people and builders get their hands on some of the demographics that you guys are studying and looking at from John Burns Real Estate Consulting?
Yeah, so we came out with a book a couple years ago called Big Shifts Ahead, Demographic Clarity for Business. We really just wanted to put some numbers around anecdotes that people are throwing around at cocktail parties about what the boomers are doing, what the millennials are doing. So we kind of set up some frameworks that help people make decisions and just look at the demographics in a little different way. And then we also do just a bunch of consulting work helping builders and developers get to the bottom of those demographic challenges.
Well, it's cool stuff you guys are doing, and we appreciate your time, Chris. Thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
From John Burns Real Estate Consulting, Chris, enjoy the rest of your time here at IBS. We're going to be back in just a moment here on Professional Builders Show Village Live, presented by Western Window Systems, with Scott Gates, president of Western Window Systems. Back in a moment. We're back live here at Professional Builders Show Village at the International Builders Show. Our show is presented by and brought to you by, proudly, Western Window Systems, and I'm with Scott Gates, president of Western Window Systems. Scott, hello.
Adam, thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for the support of Show Village Live. Of course, we've had an incredible couple days of interviews, content from builders, architects, building product manufacturers, economists. Because of your partnership with us and our ability to do this show,
awesome.
we've been doing some great stuff for the builders. We appreciate it very much.
You got it.
You guys have basically sponsorships throughout all the homes here, as well as the cool sales center. You guys have had kind of the epicenter here at Show Village. Your product, once again, is the talk of and the buzz because of the outdoor living environment, because of the flexibility and use case of a lot of the windows and doors that you have here, but more importantly, because Western Window Systems just seems to be everywhere. People know your name, they know your brand. Why is that?
Well, I think it all started last year when we were at Show Village. We did this interview, and I believe the rumor came out that Facebook actually shut down because so many viewers had cut in.
From my understanding, you're 300% growth right after the second air.
That's
is that
crazy.
Accurate?
Your presence, Adam.
Right.
I just wanted to
I appreciate
personally thank you for
and
that.
I'll just wait for the check.
Yep. It's in the mail. It's in the mail, but
sure.
just wait for a while.
I'm sure it is.
Well, no. So what I love about Show Village is it's just. Our product is all about getting people outside. And when you're out here, I mean, it's a little chilly in Vegas right now, but you still like being outside, right? So everything that we've done from an innovation perspective and telling our story is all about getting people into the environment, let them sit outside, get comfortable, grab a beer, and really kind of experience lifestyle because, again, we always try to put our products secondary, put lifestyle at the forefront. And I just feel like this environment always helps us tell our story well.
Now, builders are asking for the same thing. They're saying, give me lifestyle first for my homeowners, product second. But product is still very important because of its functionality and the need for a builder to install it properly and efficiently, for the homeowner to utilize it effectively. You guys have to think about a lot of things when it comes to product innovation. Yeah. And I've been to your offices, I've seen your factory, I've seen what you guys do. Innovation and a chic design is very important to you. Yeah. Where does the innovation come from? Who's putting these ideas down and putting them out in the market?
Well, so, every business talks about core values, but for us, they're very pervasive. They're strong. It's who we are. And the core value we talk most about is the one of partnership. So innovation doesn't come from a bunch of guys in a lab trying to come up with things no one needs. It actually just comes in listening to your customers. So this show is always great because you're talking to your best builders, your best architects. You run into some homeowners here, and they're kind of feeding you, this is what I need to see next. So every year at Show Village, we're usually bringing out new products. This year we had our performance line, our simulated steel. And these are all things that our customers told us, we really need this. This would solve a problem in the marketplace, and this is what we need to see next. Can you help us with that?
And Andrew Darr from Western Window Systems and Chet Willis, who's also on the show, both said the same thing, that you're hearing your ideas for product innovation from builders, remodelers, and contractors saying, guys, here's where we need to be, and then you guys just do it.
Yep. Well, and what I think is innovation is, you think so much about products, features, the sight lines, the ability to open the whole wall. But where innovation comes in a lot for us is also in the business model, in the way you customer service it, what your lead times are. So even our distribution points. So again, when you get to the beginning of the year and you're really talking about the big growth that we've had planned, I mean, we're in our 9th year of amazing growth. We always find that the customers will lead you to where you need to go, and if you can get there, and our job is always to get there faster with better ideas, the market will reward you for it.
I don't want to repeat the topic or the question, but it's necessary when you speak of Western Window Systems. You had an acquisition you were acquired earlier this year with PGTI, but also, and part of that reason I'm sure was your products, but also the people. And Jeff said that, the CEO of PGTI said that he bought the people. But you were a huge part of creating that culture, and those of you that came before you at Western Window Systems creating that culture. What is the secret to that longevity of excitement, forgive me, for windows and doors?
Yeah, well, and it's interesting, right? You never think anybody wakes up one day and goes, my dream is to work in the window and door industry, or to be interviewed by Adam Grubb on Show Village Live.
Speak for yourself. There's many people who have said that.
So what we always realize is, okay, but we are doing something pretty awesome. We are building products that people love. We are creating an environment where when everybody comes to work every day, they're doing something super special. So if you're better at telling that story, people get excited about it. So like the word we use, is the first 2 words of our vision statement are have fun. So we try to create an environment where winning is fun, where creating new products is fun, and then we just laugh a lot. I mean, you've been to our office, it's pretty awesome. We've got a slide, we've got ping pong tables, but the sound that you hear constantly, and people comment on when there, is you just hear a lot of laughter. And I'm telling you, when people have fun, that culture produces better results, and the market just loves working with you, right?
Your culture seems more in line with an advertising agency or marketing agency, and not a manufacturer. Now it feels like that in the show floor, in the warehouse and all that. But your people really have that creative spirit, excitable attitudes, and that they love coming to work. Are you guys looking to bring up people into the trades, bring people up into your factory, to make sure that we maintain a skilled labor force where you guys are located, but also in your other plants across the country?
100%, because what we have tried to help our staff understand is Western's a good company, but it's a great place to make a career. And the careers are not just in the office or in sales. We've got guys on our factory floor that have been there 30, 35 years that have really grown their income, added incredible value. And this kind of ad agency, creative, innovative environment that produces new products or incredible marketing also produces incredible ideas on the factory floor, efficiency gains, throughput acceleration. And we found that the whole kind of focus on the skilled labor force needs and the shortage in the market, we want to be part of that solution. We want people to know that this is a place you can come and love your career, make a living for your family, and come home happy every day because you love your job.
Well, you guys really are a fun company to be around and partner with. I'm sure that the employees there feel the same way about being part of your company. Congratulations on all your successes. Good luck with on the acquisition with PGTI. I hope everything goes great with that. And it's always great to see you, Scott.
Thanks
for making time to be on the show, and appreciate the support as always. We're
it.
back in a minute here on Professional Builders Show Village Live, presented by Western Window Systems, after these words from Western Window Systems.
When I was tasked with creating a new architectural set of plans for the 2019 New American Home, we wanted to get to a less than 50 HERRS rating. And so some of the ways we achieved that goal was the back of this house has deep overhangs, which is generally facing west. And in addition to that, we use the 7000 series windows. And the 7000 series, along with the deep overhang, gave us some really great energy efficiency across the back of the house, which is where most of the glass is, by the way, because we are looking right now out the back of this home at the beautiful Las Vegas Valley city lights in the evening, and today it's a crystal clear day and it looks awesome. You know, we wanted this home to blend in with the mountainside here within the community of Vizcaya. So we chose some darker colors on the exterior of the home. We also chose the dark bronze finish, and it was a great complement to our color palette that we had for the exterior of the house. You know, some of the favorite parts of this 2019 New American home that I designed into it were the way that we created an indoor-outdoor living space, and we have a multi-slide window door system that's going right through the middle of the cabinets that separate the kitchen indoor cooking area to the outdoor kitchen area. And it's really one of my favorite spots of the house.
Village Live, presented by West Window Systems. I'm Adam Grubb, and we are here with Nathan Young, owner of Mods PDX. We talked earlier, you were with your team at that point regarding this house behind us, from the designer and builder. Mods PDX, you're also part of the Stuga house down the way here. You've had a very busy week putting things together here, but it goes to show your ability to take your product in a lot of different ways and produce a lot of cool, unique options for builders and for homeowners, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we're versed in a lot of different areas, from multifamily to single family. We worked with Petretti Architecture to design these ADUs. Portland, Oregon, there's a lot of needs for ADUs, which are accessory dwelling units.
What does that mean?
Essentially, you have a single family home, and then you're able to put another accessory dwelling unit that has to be less than about 800 square feet on your property to help increase density.
Okay.
But there's a lot of requirements on each lot because no house is ever positioned quite the same way. And
right.
So she came up with, or her firm came up with a wonderful design that allows them to take these boxes and shift them or side by side or angle them so that you can use, for us, a very standard type of build process, but you can come up with many different endpoints to it. So you can meet the client's needs, a couple of different palette choices for the insides. We're not interested in doing one-off ADUs. We have a lot of people come to us that want to build one ADU. Well, an ADU is under 800 square feet, but it costs a lot of money to do a custom ADU. So we wanted to have something that when somebody comes to us, we can refer them to her. They can work through all the details. We know that the boxes are exactly the same size as they were before. Whether they're shifted or oriented in a different direction, it doesn't really affect us that much.
So how did you get into this? Because this is such a unique specialty when it comes to building and construction. How did this, because you started in construction in 1991, right? I mean, you've been doing this a long time.
Long time.
What brought you to today?
I would say a lot of it has to do with building envelope failures and product integration that we see within the marketplace. I mean, I can remember being 17, 18, framing in the rain and dreaming of an overhead crane and indoors, right?
Yeah.
And during the recession, when the recession hit us in Oregon, it was about 2007, 8. We didn't have a lot going on, and so we had to kind of figure out what the next phase is or how we're going to evolve with the marketplace. And we were exposed to some mobile home type manufacturers that were doing some modular, and they just weren't quite up to the same levels of standards that I thought should be done in a factory, because I felt that a factory should lend you to an environment that was even more controlled and more precise than what you were seeing in the field. And we wanted to try to eliminate a lot of the building envelope failure issues that we were seeing and energy efficiency requirements. So we focused a lot in the early days on passive house and net zero type construction, which is super energy efficient. Since then, we still work on that, but we also realized that we can meet a bigger demand for the marketplace when we kind of interchange some of those products to meet a client's desire. So some people don't really want to get all the way to that net zero level. Some people just want to feel comfortable. Who doesn't want to feel comfortable in their home, right?
Right.
So, I mean, you just ask people some simple questions about, you know, do you want to be comfortable? Do you want to have good indoor air quality? And do you want a structure that's going to last? And if they say yes, which why wouldn't they?
Right.
Then we're in a position where we can probably meet their needs. And we wanted to showcase down here a couple different sizes. We also do the multifamily. We have a 72-unit apartment building coming up. So our shop is small enough yet large enough to accommodate a lot of different variables depending upon what the market takes us to.
Well, your success story is pretty impressive, because from 7 and 8, most builders either said, okay, well, I guess I'm out. They sold off land, whatever the case would be. You said, okay, I'm going to shift the narrative here. I'm not going to be a statistic inside this recession. And you've created a whole new business opportunity, new jobs, and an innovative product, all because you had to survive, right?
Yeah.
And it's those stories that anybody who's looking into construction needs to hear, because you've came out of the other side and you're stronger and better than ever, and you guys are actually helping the construction space solve problems that some didn't even know were there.
Yeah, it opened up a lot of new marketplaces to us. So now we can explore everything up and down the West Coast and a little bit inland as well. I mean, we can travel 1,000 miles like we did for this, which means if our market's a little slow, we can be doing in Middle California or Southern California or down here in Las Vegas.
So what is the actual process of that move? If you were to work somewhere away, right? That doesn't make any sense to me.
No, so we typically, when it goes like out of our little 100-mile area that we like to work in, then what happens is we'll come down here, we'll orchestrate the transportation, the crane setting, or the setting of the project, the boxes, and then we'll do the close-up, typically the weatherization for the local builder, and then we have a very detailed list of what the builder is going to be responsible for after we leave.
Right.
So it's a little bit different in modular in that everything has to be thought of before you start. A lot of other construction projects, we design it and we get a little bit of structure and then we start building it and figure everything out as we go.
Right.
We don't work in that environment. We say click, print, build. By the time we start building, everything needs to be figured out down to the kitchen knob so that we can be in production, get it done. We know who's doing what and what it's going to end up like when it finishes.
Well, it's exciting to see it happen, and obviously we appreciate your building here at Show Village and just the great work you're doing all up and down the West Coast and other areas. Nathan, appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Mods PDX is the company. Nathan, where can they find out information about your company?
ModsPDX.com.
ModsPDX.com. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. More here in just a second on Professional Builders Show Village Live, presented by Western Window Systems. First, we want to take a second to thank one of our premier sponsors here at Show Village, Decorators. Decorators takes the enjoyment of personalizing your outdoor living space to a whole new level, from decking and porch flooring to railing and lighting. Decorators offers innovative, trend-forward products that allow builders and homeowners alike to turn decks and porches into beautiful extensions of the home. As the first name in outdoor design, Decorators incorporates the textures, trends, and styles of interior design with the strength and durability needed for outdoor living. It's one thing to offer extraordinary products, and it's another thing to stand behind them. That's why Decorators offers industry-leading warranties, including our 25-year removal and replacement limited warranty. Take your deck beyond ordinary with Decorators. Thanks to them for being part of Show Village once again. I'm sitting here with CR HERRO.
Good to see you, my friend.
Oh man, how are you, buddy?
I'm well. I'm really well.
It's good to see you. I've not seen you, I think, since PCBC way back in the day.
Yep.
By that I mean 9 months ago.
Yep.
You're one of those guys that comes to the market, and you're saying, I mean, you're the Vice President of Innovation is your actual title.
Correct.
Which I think is cool anyway. For Meritage Homes, your job for Meritage Homes is to say, okay, here's what we're doing next. Here's how things are changing in the market. Here's how we're responding.
Yeah, it's challenges and opportunities, right? So there is the reality of the market changing, the requirements and the codes, the changing in the availability of trades, continuing to understand that there's better ways to build, to be more durable, to be healthier, to reduce operating costs. And then there's opportunities, right? The consumer continually is inspired through HGTV, through housing magazines, through neighbors who bought new things to want their lifestyle to be enhanced as well. And so my job is to constantly challenge both of those, look for opportunities to be a better builder, and look for opportunities to better meet and inspire consumers' needs.
Well, you guys get kind of a case study-esque mentality out there in the public. Builders are saying, what's Meritage doing? What are they doing? How can we take advantage of that? That's got to be exciting for you and flattering. But does it scare you that other builders are looking at what you guys are doing and taking that for their own success?
In fact, it's the opposite. It's the best part is that the industry rises together. I'm very clear two things. Is one, is new home building works together. We all kind of work to mutually inspire consumers. We all work to make efficiencies of scale so that we can bring new products from the periphery into the center, and that we all work with all the people that inspire and influence consumers, realtors, appraisers, underwriting, so that as we adopt these new standards, that we can adopt them as an industry. So I'm really rewarded and grateful that the industry tends to look to us and adopt the standards that we've adopted, because it makes our ability to execute what we do for our customers better, and it allows our whole supply chain and our trade base to evolve to support us. And I'm glad that other builders are adopting very simple benefits, right? Healthier, more comfortable, reduced operating costs, better investments. It helps consumers be inspired to buy new instead of continuing to buy resale.
And that's something that's very important, is understanding that consumers' behavior. What do they do? How do they do it? Why do they do it? And how can you benefit and capitalize on activity from a mid-30s homeowner to a 65-year-old homeowner? They all need different things. Where do you go with that?
Well, the best thing you can do is, one, know you're not your customer. We learned early that designing for the way I would build a house isn't the correct answer. Is stop, find that 36-year-old mother of three and understand what are the key value drivers that differentiate good, better, and best for them, and adopt those. And then also make sure that you're talking to the customer in their language. It's very much about when you're talking to a 36-year-old mom that's buying for emotional reasons to protect her family and to celebrate holidays, that you talk about the benefits of what you do, not the features.
Right.
And so it's not about spray foam insulation.
How you'll feel.
It's about healthier, more comfortable, safer homes.
Yeah. Here's how you'll feel. Here's how you'll react. This is your emotional connection to our homes, because it is a home, and not just, hey, we use this door.
Hers Mervyn Sear isn't very inspiring to a 36-year-old mom.
No, not at all. Is it inspiring to builders, hearing that information from manufacturers? What story do you want to hear from manufacturers about how they can help you build better homes?
It's about the credibility. We know we want to make a promise to buyers as part of our brand that we're an expert at building homes, that we're going to do something special that creates value for you, and that we're going to take care of you, and this is going to be something you can depend on. That's the emotional context. From our supply chain, we need to know that promise is going to be kept from every material that we incorporate to make it more comfortable, make it safer, to make it a better home, that those suppliers line up and have thought through all the details behind how these, houses are 1,000 things built by 100 people. Yeah. And so we need all of that to work seamlessly together to execute a quality of life for our buyers.
It sounds so simple when you say all those things, right? It sounds like, hey, this is just how people should, builders specifically, should be thinking and utilizing the trade partners, utilizing data and consumer knowledge. But it probably took you a little bit to get to this point. Right.
It is absolutely an easy solution that's scary.
Right.
Because we've built the way we've built for hundreds of years, and people have been successful and rewarded by these conventional standards. And so for us to say we're going to challenge what makes us feel safe to be something better, while it's inspiring, it's also new territories, and you get some arrows sometimes.
And there's nothing more scary for a builder than something new, something different, and something that is not tried and true or tested. But you're going through that process now, testing these things so that you can tell other builders, guys, everything's fine. Just follow this along, and let's all make this market space better because of the way we're all working at the same path, right?
Yeah, and it is not entirely selfless on our part. Building a better mousetrap, creating value for our buyers, is a really smart business decision that we think through very carefully, and we try to execute very responsibly. But at the same time, I'm really happy that we can inspire and bring the industry along to this better standard, because it's good for all of us.
Yeah. Well, you guys are a fun company to watch and to see in action, and just your title alone,
my made-up job.
Yeah, I love it. I love that mentality. Like, look, we're going to be innovative, and so we're going to put a person in position to be innovative, and that's really your main focus, is to understand how to move Meritage homes to 2020 and beyond, and help your homeowners.
And that's one of the points that I've been talking about a lot since I've been at IBS is, does anybody believe what they're doing today is relevant in 2030?
Yeah.
And nobody does.
Right.
And that's only 10 years away.
Yeah.
So all of us need to understand that massive change is upon us, and we have to rethink how we build our homes and the value we provide our customers to be relevant in 10 short years.
Yeah. Well, CR Hero, we appreciate it very
good to see
much.
you, brother.
Great to see you. Thanks for coming on the program. Appreciate it very much. We're back in a moment with more content from some of our builders and manufacturers, including Ply Gym on the way in just a bit. This is Professional Builders Show Village Live, presented by Western Window Systems.
Hard work got us here. Home building is our legacy. And from generation to generation, that legacy is passed. Come, build your legacy.
Yeah, very much. Welcome back, Professional Builders Show Village Live, presented by Western Window Systems. I'm your host, Adam Grubb. I'm with Jason Matthew here, Senior Director, Global Connected Strategy, Whirlpool Corporation. Global Connected Strategy.
What is that?
You're connecting the globe. What is the strategy behind that? Is that what you do?
So our team, what I do at Whirlpool is essentially redefine product. For 100 years, if I oversimplify what we do, we've been selling boxes that get hot to cook,
Right.
boxes that get cold to preserve food, boxes that spin water to clean. That's kind of been the definition of what we do. We've been performing tasks. That opportunity is much bigger than that with IoT, with digital, with ecosystems, and how we unlock that is what our team does. So it's about how do we take great ideas and deliver them out the door to kind of redefine what a product.
One of the strongest brands in that category, yet you're selling, you have major competition. You're selling something that everybody needs, but everybody only needs it every now and then, right? And now you're in a business where you have to connect everything together. Every piece of appliance in someone's home has to mean something, has to be connected, has to do something. You guys have a tall order. How are you, I guess, moving your product line and your company into the next wave of how people buy homes and buy their appliances in their kitchens?
I think it starts with the consumer. So we have to deliver purposeful innovation. And so as we think about what motivates us, we believe that the everyday acts of cooking and cleaning will always be easier, better, faster with our brands.
Right.
So if I stick in the kitchen and we think about the journey that a consumer goes through today, it's littered with friction, pain points,
Right.
questions.
Right.
You think about, you know, what do you want to eat tonight? How do you make it? What do you have on hand? How do you avoid food waste? These are all pain points that consumers are dealing with today. Our vision for the future next generation cooking, our vision for the next generation kitchen is we'll answer that question, what's for dinner? We'll provide step-by-step guidance on how to complete that meal. We'll automate that cooking process like a Tesla-like experience in the
right.
kitchen. We'll drive frictionless replenishment to groceries. And we'll also help you understand what do you have on hand, what can you cook with it, and how do you avoid food waste.
Well, I think that's very smart because we all know that people's ability to want something right then, they don't want to wait. They don't want to have to really work hard at things. They just want things to happen, right? And you guys are trying to put things in place in an environment where that can happen for homeowners of all ages. You're not just specifically to millennials, you're not specific to baby boomers. You're looking for anybody who wants a better way to enjoy their kitchen and their laundry, whatever the case may be, because of your work.
Yeah, we're appealing to a wide degree of demographics and psychographics.
Right.
And so for the consumer that wants convenience and faster speed to meal, we've got solutions that help on that front. For the consumer that's looking to be inspired, through the KitchenAid brand and Yumly, we offer tools to address that consumer cohort. So it's wide ranging and it appeals to the Tuesday night, got to feed the kids and find a way to get those chicken nuggets faster, to it's Friday and you want to create something new. We're creating solutions across that entire spectrum.
Why do those solutions and the cool things and innovations you guys are doing, why does it matter to the builder?
So it matters to the builder because one, the consumers are looking for solutions that make their lives easier, better, faster. Two, as you think about the smart home and even the smart kitchen, there's a lot of confusion around what technology you should be buying. Is it safe? Right. There's concerns around data, security, privacy. And I think the builder provides an awesome way to answer that question, not just about one product, but for the whole home. And if they could offer solutions that cover leading brands with purposeful innovation, with solutions that are addressing those everyday practical needs, it's an opportunity for them to drive the adoption of the smart home, not just deliver a larger box that does a performance task.
I think it's interesting that you guys have launches and new products and new things that you're doing, because in reality you think, okay, how much more innovation can there be? How much more can these companies do? But Whirlpool, you guys are doing it. It's important to you, right?
Yeah, what we're showcasing at KBIS this week is we launched over 50 new Whirlpool products, 25 of which are connected in market at the end of last year. They continue to get better over time, and when you think about the users that we have on Yummly, 32 million, the 50 connected products out there that essentially gave us info on roughly 4 million different cooking sessions, we're able to do an update to a product to make that experience better for the consumer. And in 2019, we're bringing that to KitchenAid, and so we've got a number of products that are launching to kind of bring that next generation experience, connectivity, smart products to the KitchenAid brand.
And you don't think it's too much, do you? You probably aren't even to the spot where you feel like you've got too many things happening. You're just getting going as far as, you have a lot of brands too. You have a lot of different sub-brands. You're just starting the innovation and next generation process, right?
We're moving from the beginning of that process to scaling.
Okay.
And so we're at that transition point.
Yeah.
So connecting Whirlpool is a mass brand, making that product, making that experience more affordable and reachable. We're bringing that into KitchenAid and then ultimately JennAir in a really big way in 2019. And just as an example of like where we're at, and it's no longer just an experiment.
Right.
Last Sunday, I was just looking at the data. 45,000 text messages went out to consumers that were in the middle of cooking or cleaning with Whirlpool products, letting them know that their preheat's done. The cycle's now complete.
Yeah.
The timer went off. I mean, that's not the beginning of the process anymore. That's an area where we're growing and growing exponentially. So it's incredibly real. It's happening right now. And we feel like with purposeful innovation, partnering with the builders out here, we could pour a little rocket fuel on the future of the connected kitchen and the smart home.
Well, we're hearing great things as you're out here at the International Builders Show, specifically at Show Village. We're hearing great things from builders coming through, talking about your products. So you guys should be very proud of the work you've done so far. Continued success and good luck in the future at Whirlpool.
Great, thank you.
Yes, Matthew, thank you very much for your time. We're back in a moment here at Professional Builders Show Village Live, presented by Western Window Systems. More content coming, more interviews and guests on the way. Back in a moment. This is Show Village Live.
After we successfully launched the Series 7000 Performance family in 2018, we wanted to create a line of aluminum doors and windows that had all of the attributes of the Series 7000, but with an entirely new look and feel. Moving glass walls and windows that resemble the steel products found in historical buildings, universities, and luxury homes, but with an experience that's easier, faster, and more affordable. This is our simulated steel line. Developing thin 7/8 simulated divided lights, designed to look like a steel putty glaze, together with bevel glass stops and narrow sight lines, defines a whole new integration, making the thermally broken aluminum profile resemble that of a steel system. A signature extrusion design was engineered to allow our simulated steel doors and windows to go taller and wider than you might expect. Oversized glass panels allow our multi-slide doors to go as tall as 17 feet. Window walls can go up to 120 square feet. And because all of our products are completely customizable, you'll never have to compromise your vision. A proprietary Insulbar profile assists in increased thermal performance and strength. Low U value ratings and low E argon-filled dual-pane glass further reduce energy consumption, and all product families are AMA tested to a design pressure rating of 50. Unlike steel doors and windows that can cost double the price of aluminum, require field glazing, and include lengthy lead times, Western Window Systems simulated steel line is all about inspiration, efficiency, and value. And because our simulated steel doors and windows are more affordable, arrive pre-glazed, and take less time to manufacture, they are set to redefine the way we think about this architectural style.
Welcome back to Professional Builders Show Village Live, presented by Western Window Systems. I'm Adam Grubb with Vicki Fry of PlyGem. Vicki, hello.
Hey, Adam.
How are you?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. You guys have built a home out here in Show Village this year. We're back in Las Vegas.
Yep.
You guys are outside and you've said, hey, this is our entire exterior. We're PlyGem. This is everything we do.
That's right.
We need to show you what we do. What's been the response so far of the home?
Well, there's no better place for us to show our materials than on an actual house,
Yeah.
right? So it made sense for us to come outside. The response has been great, I think, especially because we prepared ahead of time at PlyGem. So we worked with a partner that you're familiar with, Nimble Thinkers, and did a national survey of builders and remodelers. So we had about a third of responses between remodelers, builders, and then those who do both. And we really wanted to better understand, make no assumptions on what issues were impacting their business. So what we learned through that is things like the labor shortage are still really a factor for builders across the U.S. But also we asked, what products are you seeing as trends? So certainly large windows and patio doors were number one by like 39% of those that responded said those large windows and patio doors that allow a lot of light inside, and then also allow the transition between indoor and outdoor living. Those are really truly impacting their business. So we're showing those. We have a door called our MAXView door, the PlyGem Windows MAXView door, and it actually, this iteration of it is 16 feet wide and 10 feet tall. So it really, and it's a pocket door, so it completely opens up.
And I was watching people mess with it because they want to see, okay, is this smooth? Does this work? Can I get out of this cleanly and easily? And is this going to be a pain? And so far, they're saying this is fantastic.
Oh, they love it. And actually, you can use your smartphone to open and close the door.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Your smartphone.
To open and close
your
door.
Right, yes.
Okay, we have, now we're talking.
Now we're talking.
Yes, now that's innovation.
And actually smart home technology also rated pretty high in that survey. We also have just adjacent to the that MAXView patio door is our Euro slide door that is impact rated for Miami-Dade. So certainly in Miami-Dade is the most stringent from a
code standpoint.
From a code standpoint, and so that door as well allows you great view and indoor outdoor transfer, but then also is rated to the strictest level.
And these are, in your research, the builders are saying, hey, here are some of the problems that we're hearing from our homeowners, some of the needs, some of the things we can't fill, some of the gaps. What does PlyGem have that can help us? And it's not just windows and doors, it's the entire exterior as well.
Right, homeowners want customization, right? Which means builders and remodelers need to be able to deliver that. So PlyGem has vinyl siding that comes in deep, rich colors. And actually we have two new options. One is called Solar Defense, and the other is Western Extreme. Western Extreme allows a homeowner, a home builder, or a remodeler in extreme temperature climates or high altitudes to where there's a lot of rapid temperature change to be able to customize a home the way a homeowner wants it to be done, and also deliver and stay really true to the integrity of the siding.
You guys have really, over the last 5 years, invested in new products and complete solutions, exterior, connecting all of your products together. You didn't want to be siloed anymore, right?
That's right.
You didn't want to just be looked at as this or this. And you've really done an incredible job of branding yourself as a exterior solution for home builders, remodelers, contractors, as well as homeowners. What was the secret? What changed, and why the shift to, hey, we're PlyGem overarching product
Yeah,
line.
I think it's intentionality and being committed to the innovation that is necessary to do that. So
Right.
just continuous improvement, whether it be in our manufacturing practices through some automation and other things, and just that intentional communication across the board, right? So as we are, as you said, the complete solution, we have to make sure that those products are working together. The deep colors and vinyl siding, along with, you know, black windows are huge. 8 out of 10 homeowners on House last year were looking for black or dark bronze windows, and so.
So you guys actually go through and you say, okay, what's the data that supports certain decisions from House, from Pinterest, from social media? Mentions, hashtags, anything that you can get your hands on, as well as strategic research, so you can move your products to the direction they need to be, not where you think they should be.
That's right. And one of the reasons that's so important, because it's important to our customers, in that same research, they those builders and contractors said it's so important to us, the manufacturers, and the product performance, warranty, durability of the product, because that product's reputation affects my reputation.
Right.
You know, and so we have a real respect for the people who are doing the work, who are building the homes, and we know that their reputation is important in their community. So we want to make sure that the products that they buy, that are PlyGem products, really supports them, makes them a hero.
Yeah. And you guys also have great ties inside the music industry. You have great ties philanthropic.
Yep.
You are part of the Home for Good project.
Yep.
Tell us quickly a little bit
Thank you for asking about
some of the
that.
things that PlyGems are doing to help the community.
We have a couple really great things. So one is our, as you said, the PlyGem Home for Good project. Since 2016, we've helped build 500 homes in 70 communities. We take the products that we manufacture and have donated those to Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah.
And we have some great ambassadors, as you said. Darius Rucker has been our ambassador the last 2 years. This year, we're going to have John Party and Lauren Elena as our co-ambassadors. So we're really excited to add to that number of 500 homes. And then this year, the house that you talked about, the PlyGem house here in Show Village, is being donated to the city of Las Vegas.
It's not just being donated to the city of Las Vegas. There's a very specific story that's really touching and cool behind it.
Yeah, there's been a couple of options for it. One is that there is a healing garden here in Las Vegas that is in memory of the October 1 victims, that music festival where so many people lost their lives. And so the house may be used in that healing garden. Then there also is a tech training center, like a vocational training center in the 5th Ward here. And so a portion of our house is a two-parter, 2 sections. And so one of those sections may go to that labor and workforce development. So both of those, obviously we talked about the labor shortage.
Right.
So anything that can contribute in a positive way to that.
Yeah. Well, once again, PlyGem, you connect everything together, even in that front. So we love having you out here at Show Village.
Thank
we love
you.
your partnership and friendship. Thank you very much, Vicki.
Yeah,
Great
thank
job.
you.
Continued success at
Same here.
PlyGem. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Professional Builder Show Village Live, presented by Western Window Systems. We want to thank one of our other sponsors, Noon Home. The Noon Smart Lighting System transforms spaces with professional quality layered lighting with one-touch control. Working with the existing lights and fixtures, Noon creates lighting scenes that are unique to each mood and activity experiences in the home. Our thanks to Noon Home for their sponsorship inside Show Village here at the International Builders Show. As our show continues here live, we are with Bridget Slater now of Sunwest Custom Homes. Bridget?
How's
Hi.
it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great.
So you are the builder of the 2019 New American Home here in Las Vegas. You are also going to be the builder of the 2020 New American Home with Sunwest Custom Homes here in Vegas. You guys have built an incredible home here this year. I'm sure, and we'll talk about 2020 in a second, but tell me a little bit about what you guys did, what the ideas were behind design and innovation in your home design up in Ascaya, this awesome community up there in the hills in Vegas, looking at the city, great property lines, pool, the whole deal. This is quite a home.
Yeah, so we knew that it was going to be publicity for everybody, not just the suppliers, but for ourselves. And Ascaya is a recently new development, And so we wanted to give some publicity to them. Great, best views in Vegas by far. You've seen them.
Yeah.
And so he went out and chose a lot, and he let the lot, Dan let the lot speak to him.
Yeah.
And he really liked the curvature of the property line. And so if you see any of the aerial shots of the home, the roof line actually follows the property line. So that's just one of many things that Dan, you know, the inspiration behind the home.
And it's Dan Coletti, who is the designer and architect of Sunwest Custom Homes and owner. He's got a brilliant mind, but he's got an incredible team behind him. You guys have built this home, and I don't want to overstate the facts here, so correct me if I'm wrong. But it's 6,000. How big is it?
8,200
8,200
livable.
square feet, and you built it in 9 months.
Correct.
Here,
from
slab pour to finish.
Yep.
Right. So that's faster than most.
Yes.
What's the secret to the to that process for you guys?
Well, I think you started saying it's the teamwork. It really is. So we have a whole construction side. We have Carl, the president of construction. We have an interior design team. We have a lot of different players. And so with Dan's vision and his ability to put it on paper and then translate that to our construction team, the design build firm really comes together, and it gets done in 9 months, which usually takes a year and a half.
Yeah. Well, you guys also have very unique designs elements inside the home. So the exterior and all that looks great, is fantastic, but it's the interior touches, like a floating TV, for instance. The way you utilize screens and indoor-outdoor living extensions. You have those creative nuances of a home that make it very unique from any other builder.
Yeah, so we always do wow factors in our home, is what Dan likes to call them, but especially on this home because it is the show home. It is the new American home 2019. Right. So the indoor-outdoor feel, a lot of builders actually in Vegas do that on the back of the home because our weather is relatively nice most of the time. Yeah. But we actually brought it to the front as well. So when you enter the courtyard, the doors to the garage can pocket open and the doors to the study can pocket open, and now it's one big livable area. Yeah. So we did that in the front, we did that in the back, and then we have a floating TV, a floating bed, a floating wet bar. I mean, there's a lot of cantilevered cool stuff that we did structurally in the home, as well as dressed it up with a lot of cool fixtures and colors.
And you don't do that just because it's unique. You do that because those are the moments that people talk about afterwards, after they see the home, after they see that the person who's going to buy that home. Those are the things that make them feel emotionally connected to their home. It's cool, it's unique, it's different, it's not like everybody else's, and your company's not like everybody else either. You guys have incredible systems in place. You have a very lean and specific way you go to build homes. Mm-hmm. Has that evolved over the years, or has that always been what Sunwest Custom Homes has been about?
Oh, definitely. You know, Dan just started as a builder, and then he became a residential designer, and now it's a design build firm, which traditionally you go to an architect and get your plans drawn up, and then you go to a builder. But when it's all under one roof, it's a lot more efficient. You get better pricing. You deal with the same people, right. And that's really where the market is going. And
you're with this process of the New American Home, you were able to deal with a lot of new manufacturers, mm-hmm. some that you've never dealt with before, never worked with, and it was exciting for you. There was some trepidation at first, but then you guys got through it, and you said, "Hey, we like these products. We like learning new things." Mm-hmm. Is that where you guys really is finding new things that you didn't know about? They work, and now they've become part of your entire system?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's why Dan initially wanted to do the New American Home, because he's been building for almost 30 years now. You kind of get in a rut. I use the same subs, I use the same materials, but with the New American Home, you're presented the opportunity to use different suppliers, and that comes in handy for when you want to try new stuff and just challenge yourself. And there's a bunch of suppliers we used, and we're like, yeah, we're going to continue to use these suppliers on all of our normal projects now.
And you said it yourself, 30 years in the building industry and trade, you can get stuck in some routines. Mm-hmm. Do you think Dan and your team purposely try to get out of those routines so that the creativity never subsides and that you're always thinking about that next floating whatever inside a house?
Exactly. I think Dan just likes to challenge himself and the team and continue growing. You know, that's the whole point. Continue growing.
So what is next for you guys? I know 2020 is coming up. We're building that home now. We're starting that process. Mm-hmm. What cool, unique things can you announce or talk about today for the 2020 home that people can get excited about?
I think design intent. The 2019 had a lot of angles and straight lines, whereas the 2020 has a lot more curves and a lot more just general spheres everywhere. And Dan's bringing the water back. That's kind of his signature, is to run water in the courtyard, in the backyard, in the house sometimes. And yeah, that's what we're doing for 2020. So people will be surprised to see that.
Well, it's going to be great. And I think for me, working with you guys, but the manufacturers, they've all said the same thing, which is the speed to completion, but without any loss of quality, without any concern of durability or anything like that. You guys just make great homes, and you should be very proud of that.
Thank you.
And I know you guys have had a very successful career in the family, and Sunwest Custom Homes, great people. So congratulations on your success. Good luck in 2020. Let's see if we can get some more floating things happening within that home as well.
Exactly.
Because those are really easy to do, I'm sure. So,
Yeah,
Bridget,
super easy.
Yes, Bridget, thank you very much. Good to
Thank
see
you,
you.
Adam.
And enjoy the rest of the show and the year. Bridget Slater with Sunwest Custom Homes, the 2019 New American Home Builder and the 2020 New American Home Builder as well. Back in a moment on Professional Builders Show Village Live, presented by Western Window Systems. Back here at Professional Builders Show Village Live, presented by Western Window Systems on the back porch of our home in Show Village. We are down to the final minutes here of the last 6 hours of content yesterday and today. It's been an incredible couple days here at the International Builders Show, and I'm very pleased to end and wrap with David PEKEL, CEO of NARI. David, nice to meet you. Your first time I've met you here, so I appreciate you taking a couple minutes to be with us today.
Adam, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
So let's talk about remodeling for a second. Just a general question. We've talked a lot over the last couple of days about the building industry and workforce and labor shortage and innovation and connected homes, smart homes. My guess is that things aren't much different in the remodeling sector as they are in the new home construction sector.
They're completely parallel experiences in that regard. Our problem right now in the remodeling industry is that there is, with consumers staying in their homes longer and choosing to age in place, there's such an enormous amount of demand for our members' services right now, and they can't meet the need.
Right.
They can't meet the need. Consumers are willing to wait, they're willing to be patient, but that creates another unique set of circumstances in and of itself. So if a contractor meets with a consumer who says, hey, look, what can I do to stay in my house for the next 10, 15 years? Well, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll employ some universal design and aging in place principles. That sounds fantastic. When can you start? 6 months, 8 months from now? Well, we're interested. We want a placeholder in your schedule. So you price out a project based on when you think you're going to start, and that's based on what material costs are going to be at that time when you price the project.
Right.
What are they going to look like 10 months from now? And how do you cross that bridge with a customer and have that conversation when you have tariffs and all of the other competing indices that are driving up costs at the same time.
So what are you guys doing then collectively as a group and as an organization to an association with your members to tackle some of these issues, some of these concerns and problems for the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, 5 to 10 years is a fairly narrow time frame, so it requires much more immediacy. I think in longer term, of course, we're aligned with the Skilled Labor Fund and what's happening there, and collaborating with NAHB and Horizon and KBA to look at this in terms of how can we pool our resources in that regard to make a dent. But in the short term, what do? We try to find the people who possess the most, check off the most boxes as possible. Do they have a good work ethic? You know, are they willing to learn? Are they willing to get up early in the morning? Are they willing to work hard? And we'll teach them how to be carpenters. We'll teach them how to be skilled tradespeople and give them a career path.
Well, speaking of teaching, and you guys have put money and resources behind certification programs, wanting people to become more valued in that space as master craftsmen and master tradesmen and remodelers. The certification program for you guys is important?
So it's a cornerstone of who we are, Adam. Education and certification for the National Association of the Remodeling Industry is our brand.
Yeah.
What we really set out to do is to create the smartest people in the room. We want to build a better remodeling contractor. You know, with the labor shortage being what it is, there's more business than we can actually handle. If we can teach our members to do less business more profitably, that helps to address the skilled labor, the skilled labor gap in a little different way. It doesn't speak to the demand side, but it does to the business side and the profitability side.
Well, it's one of those subjects that you talk about. You can talk about it ad nauseum and never really get anywhere, but you can also have that one breakthrough, right? You can have that one thing that changes the entire landscape. And with your participation in the Skilled Labor Fund and partnership with the major associations in this space, builders, remodelers, everybody coming together, eventually this should start to see some steam and start to pick up. And the more conversations that people are having about the success that craftsmen and tradesmen can get by becoming their own boss and an entrepreneur and stuff, I think the easier that conversation is going to be down the road, right?
Undoubtedly. We need to change the narrative about the skilled trades. It's really more about, from our point of view, marketing skilled trades. It's the conception is, well, I've got to strap on a tool belt, I have to put on the work boots, I'm going to work in the cold and in horrible conditions, it's hard back-breaking work. Well, we can point to a lot of success stories where people might have started that way, but now they own their own business enterprises and they're employing designers and production people and other skilled trade people as well. It's a career path to a much more successful outcome.
Now, give me a little bit about your history and your background. So where have you gotten some of your confidence and intelligence around this space, and what are you excited for as new CEO of NARI?
So that's a great question, Adam. I'm brand new in this job.
Yeah.
I started on the 21st of January. Prior to that, for the past 30 years, I've had a successful design build remodeling firm of my own that I built from scratch. So I do come to it from a very unique perspective. I've been there. I know what the struggles are. I know what it takes to where, I don't want to say shortcuts, but I know the pathway to get to the finish line and can help our members see that too.
Well, I know that there's a lot of excitement about you in this role, and you come with a pedigree that is unmatched to most CEOs as they come into a role, especially when it comes to NARI. You're going to be a great addition. So from me to you, I'm very excited that you're part of the organization, the association, and we look forward to working together between all the companies.
Thank you kindly. I appreciate it.
David, thank you very much for being on the show.
Talking to you.
Appreciate it very much. That wraps it up for this year's Professional Builders Show Village Live, presented by Western Window Systems. My very, very heartfelt thanks to all the people that make this show possible over these last couple of days. Laura Campbell for her incredible work as executive producer, Ed Plamondon behind as director of photography and executive producer, Gary Gazinski, Thad Vassmer, Greg Elston, D'Angelo Morello, and Armando Barino. My thanks to everybody involved for this year's show, a huge success. Professional Builders Show Village Live, presented by Western Window Systems, back next year at IBS. Have a great year, and we'll see you next year. Thanks.